Hello, people. How you guys be? I'm so happy and so grateful um, that we have blue skies in Colorado today, and quarantine with a 3-day long snowstorm uh, was extra not fun. Actually, that's not true. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it. But, uh, I'm not a big fan of the snow. I am a big fan of being out in the sun, even if it's cold. Um, so I'm happy. I'm like in my backyard today, on my trails. Um, so yeah. So I last week I decided that I was going to do this thing that is I was calling it daily I think it was daily tools for interesting times. Lasted 3 days. And in true humanoid fashion, I was like, I don't think I want to go live every day at the same time. So in case you saw it and you were like, yay, and you've been wondering, just know that I did what I love to do, and I changed. I changed it. I changed. I love changing things up in my business like every day. So I did that. And actually I have something else that's really fun that's in the works that I'll be sharing with you guys in the next few days. But I've still been, it's been really cool connecting with people on Facebook during this time, and just, having this global sort of town center, for contribution and connection and saying hi to each other. And it's really, I'm so enjoying how much time I actually, it's funny, I'm like, oh, I have so much time, but I don't. I do and I don't. My schedule hasn't changed that much because I do so much online. But there's just a sense of space that I know a lot of people have been really enjoying in the midst of everything right now. And so that's cool, It's been really nurturing to me. And it's kind of like, hello, how did I get so lucky to have this in my backyard? Really grateful. And the space that, the mountains give us is just, like, anytime you're in nature, it just gives you this beautiful space. So it feels like there's more of that now. It's like louder. It can be louder. But I was just thinking about generosity of spirit, like that. The energy of that has been really in my world lately. And it's been really cool because there's a lot of people in the world that are actually really stepping it up, I went to the grocery store last night, which is an interesting place at the moment. Probably all grocery stores, supermarkets, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, I went last night, and there's just this, people are staying away from each other and all that, but there's a sense of kind of honoring, I'll take a wide berth around you, which I don't personally have the point of view that I need to do, but I'm fine. That other people do is cool. But it has this feeling to me of not just, I don't want your cooties. It's more like, hey, let's all honor what's being asked right now. And whether that's appropriate or not or whatever, I'm not going to get into that, but it's really just the energy that I've been aware of is this the beautiful energy underneath, which is, look at that. Oh my God. Maybe I'll just see the mountains for a little bit. The beautiful energy underneath. Such a cool question to ask about anything. What are the beautiful energies underneath this? And those energies have been really touching me. How much honoring people are willing to have of each other right now. And it has this real energy to me of generosity of spirit, like almost sort of like surfacing in the world in a way that it hasn't before. Um, and you can call me a Pollyanna. I know I am. But I like it, so I'm sticking to it, you know. Um, and it is good to be aware of stuff that we don't want to be aware of as well. But what I wanted to talk about now here on this rock for a second is the the um, the generosity of spirit that I'm seeing people be with each other. And I want to really invite you to, all of us, to step up and include ourselves in that. You know, a lot of people do have more time on their hands at the moment, and we all get to enjoy, if we choose to, we get to enjoy the increased sense of space that the planet is enjoying from the reduction in, you know, activity and all that stuff. And it's such a beautiful time to play with, like, choosing things that maybe you haven't had the space to choose before, or you haven't had like the sort of motivation to choose before, or whatever that may be. Motivation's a bit of an interesting word, but just, you know, like there's fluctuation. How's this? Just take my thingy off. But, you know, I think everybody's sort of looking from a really different point of view right now, and you get to choose the point of view that you look from with everything that's going on. And it's one of my favorite conversations of all time, that has always been, is about having the elements of intimacy with ourselves. And in Access Consciousness, the 5 elements of intimacy are gratitude, allowance, honoring, vulnerability, and trust. And if you've not taken a foundation class, they're in there. They're in the foundation manual. It's a lot better. Okay, good. Thank you for saying something, because I never have any idea what's happening on your end. So anyway, the 5 elements of intimacy are these incredible tools that when we get to have, you know, them with, like when we get to really have those energies in our own lives, it's about really actually having them with ourselves before, not even before, but just, it's like when you have that with you, you can have it with the world, you can have it with creation, with your business, you know. And to me, there's a real generosity of spirit when you choose to sort of cultivate this space with you of vulnerability, of honoring, of allowance, like not judging you, of being really present with you, of being, you know, kind of telling yourself the truth about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, which none of it is actually ugly or bad, but we have so many judgments. And a lot of times what happens is when we have all these judgments of ourselves, and then we cut off all these areas that we're not willing to look at, or these energies we're not willing to see, because we think it's wrong and bad. And, you know, but this is such a, there's a global space and a global sort of silence right now that has never, you know, not in our sort of current times, existed. And to me, it's getting louder every day, which is really exciting. That is also, there's so many miracles available in those spaces, and that's a bit of a story for another time. But all of these like energetic realities that so many of us have as our reality, whether you acknowledge it or not, they're beginning, like I'm just perceiving this sense of like these energetic realities really beginning to thrive and like exponentialize and bubble up. And so this is where I just really want to speak directly to you and invite you to really include you, really include your body, everything about like your body and your life and your business and what you create, like really include you in what it is that you're willing to be more present with in this time. Yes, this wasn't meant to be like promoting anything, but I do have my favorite calls too that Albina is mentioning, the 5 elements of intimacy calls that I did. It's called the Intimacy of Potency. And it's actually it's probably my favorite call series that I've done so far. Really is a deep dive into this conversation. But I just, if you don't have you, you don't have anything. You don't really have anything if you don't have you. If you're not present with you, if you're not honoring of you, if you don't have that generosity of spirit with you, like the willingness to be kind, like truly kind with you and present with you and vulnerable and all these yummy, yummy energies that so many of us avoid in the cacophony of this reality, but that is waning right now. And the field is ripe. The field is ripe. Do I have a foundation on Lime coming? I do, Reshma. I don't know when it is, though. I think it's April 10th, but it might be at the end of April. Sometime in April, I have an online foundation. Really excited about it. Really, really excited about it. I scheduled it for the end of April, but now I'm like, I want to do it sooner. So it may be mid-April. Right now it's on the books for the 10th, I think, something like that. So anyway, so there's just this, like, there's a real opening right now, you guys. I'm marveling at it. Every day it's like, oh God, this is delicious, and there's so many cool things showing up in my world, like just conversations with people that I wouldn't normally take the time to have. And, like my family's getting together to have a Zoom on Monday night and just talk to each other and say hi. We don't do that ever, and we just kind of wait till we're going to see each other, which is not that often. But somehow we're like, hey, let's get together and say hi, So there's all these cool things occurring. And it's like people they're not busy, Can we do it 17 to 20 April? There may be an SOP happening that weekend, so I'm hosting it. So we're waiting to see what we're doing with that. But it's just this sense of... real, like the space and the time and the availability of something so different to be chosen. And I want to invite you to really include you in that. So many people that I know are choosing something really different right now. So many people that I know are choosing to create so much more. And you can do it with a frenetic energy of like, oh my God, the times are changing. I need to change my business. Blah, blah, blah. You can do it with that. But what if you were to what if this was like the reset button, not just for the world, but really for your whole life. And you could go, you know what? Now's the time to be generous with me. Now's the time to be generous with my body. Now's the time to be kinder with me than ever before, and just really turn up the volume on those energies in your own world. And, getting present with ourselves and being with ourselves in that way it's a choice, and it does require some space. And it's not even like, oh, you have to meditate, because I'm not a meditator at all. I'm a terrible meditator. And I don't have the point of view that you have to meditate to have like inner peace or whatever. To me, inner peace is a bit of a construct, but if we're really looking at like having ease and peace, like true peace, not the distraction of peace, but true peace, and ease and joy and glory and space and creative juice and all that with you, vulnerability and presence. It's like, that's just a choice. It's a choice that you can make right now. And I want to I want to just say, like, you know, we say in Access Consciousness, you're not as fucked up as you think you are, which is always true. But I also want to say, not only are you not as fucked up as you think you are, but you're probably like a million times more phenomenal and brilliant than you think you are. So let's take that a step further right now. And if there was ever a time to choose something different with ourselves, it is now. And what if you really could be with you in such a way as to be curious about the phenomenons of you, the beauty of you, the brilliance of you. Judgment, I posted a thing yesterday, you know, the real virus is judgment. Judgment is a virus that kills creation, it kills the earth, it kills our bodies, it kills our businesses, it kills our money flows. And when you're willing to have this generosity of spirit with yourself and these elements of intimacy with yourself, judgment is, it's no longer like they sort of take that energy out. Like it's not about going into the energy of judgment to handle it. It's actually about choosing something completely different, like a totally different universe of kindness and generosity and vulnerability and allowance and, you know, all these things. Oh my God, that's so cool. Reshma says, I'm so freaking grateful for you, dear Heather. 5 months after business done different with you and ripple effect, still seeps into my world, making choices that are very different with absolute ease and honoring everyone in my space, including me. Oh, I love that. So happy. That makes me so happy. This is why I do what I do. Albina just made a big choice 5 minutes ago, so on point. Oh, yay. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, and when we make big choices, usually there is a level of, like, courageous choices, you know. There's usually a level of generosity of spirit with ourselves. Like if it was something that you weren't willing to gift you before, you know. And now is just, it's like we have to be, well, we don't have to do anything ever, but now is like such a time to be turning it up on that, because the alternative is just not very exciting at this point, you know. You can't actually just sort of skate along anymore, you know. You really have to choose to create and be right now, in ways that it's never been sort of as like imperative in a way as it is now. And that makes me really happy. You know, I just am so grateful for this time and the beauty of it. And I don't have the point of view that I need to go into drama, and make myself upset and sad because there are people dying, you know, and nor am I saying that that's a great thing, but it is what it is, you know. And when we dive into the suffering with everybody else, then the world just suffers more, you know. Being you, changing the world. Your joy is the greatest gift to the world, always, and especially now. Your kindness with you, your willingness to choose something different, your willingness to take leaps, even in this time where you're supposed to like hunker down and like preserve everything so that you don't die, you know, all that stuff. It's like all like us no, I'm not even gonna say that. Us individually choosing that creates an expansion of those energies in the world. So generosity of spirit with you, kindness with you, gratitude, allowance, vulnerability, honoring, and trust with you makes it so that those energies are more available in the world. And that is the greatest choice that you can make right now. We choose which energies get substantiated in the world and which ones atrophy. And you can choose to be part of the atrophy of judgment in the world by just not going there with you. And how freaking cool is that? You know, are you willing to be that powerful? Are you willing to be that different? Are you willing to be that brilliant? Are you willing to be that phenomenal? Are you willing to be that kind with you? And, you know, the earth is really inviting us to that now. It's like the, you know, we've been in sort of like in dress rehearsal with these tools for a long time, and it's, you know, opening night, you know, and game on, you know. And here's the thing, you know, that I really want to, well, you'll find out if you choose this, is that this space of generosity with you is actually so fucking fun, so fucking delicious, such a generative energy in your life. It creates so much joy in your world, even if other people judge you for it, or they don't want you to be that, or whatever. It's so different. You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look at this. Talk about generosity of spirit. Look at that. I don't even know if you can really see this. This is like one of the most beautiful mountains in Boulder, in Colorado, actually. When you see it from the other angle, it's our like famous Flatirons. If you ever Google like a photo of Boulder, Colorado, you'll see the Flatirons are like the famous Boulder jagged mountain rocks. That's fucking generosity of spirit right now. Like the earth going, look at how fucking beautiful I am. You know, I'm not going to diminish my beauty ever for you. You can just look at me and admire me, you know, like that. And it's time for us to be that with ourselves. If you're willing, if you dare to have joy during a time where there's not supposed to be joy, you create a different reality. And the last thing I'll say is that the creation of that is so, there's such a, in this space and this kind of silence that's occurring, and you know, at the moment in the world, there is like, there's an opening. I guess that's what I want to say. The space of global kind of silence, or more silence than usual, is an opening. And if you insert the kindness with you, the generosity with you, the brilliance of you, the phenomenance of you, the choice to not judge, if you insert that into this opening, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's already happening. This is occurring as we speak, every day. The miraculousness, the consciousness, the beauty is growing right now by leaps and bounds, and it is becoming, it's gaining this like more momentum and this sort of like force of possibilities that is not to be stopped. It can't be stopped. Can't be stopped. And the way that we create a different reality is not by trying to change this one. You know, this reality is actually dying right now. It's dying. And how cool is that? But the way that we create a different one is not by trying to resist or kill the old one. It's by ignoring it and substantiating what it is that we know and what it is that we have always known as a different, new reality. And there is an opening that has never been there before, and you having the kindness and the generosity with you is the thing that will actually exponentialize that in ways that we can't imagine. Miracles are things that are not supposed to occur ever, 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 ever. They don't have a context in this reality because they're literally not supposed to occur. So we don't even necessarily know what they can be, you know? But we do know that something else is possible. And the way that you access that faster and more dynamically and more powerfully than ever is by simply being that with you and choosing it. So I'm home now. Thanks for playing with me on my hike. And truly, you are far, far, far more phenomenal than you think you are. You're far more, oops, there's a lot of snow on my back deck. I forgot to go in the front door. Oh, and it's locked. I forgot about that too. You're far more phenomenal than you think you are. You're far more stunningly beautiful than you think you are, and brilliant than you think you are. And what if now is the time to just sort of jump and be like, all right, let's try it. Let's see how that goes. If I can be that with me, you know, if you can be that with you right now, you can be that with the world and talk about creating a different world. So thank you guys. I really adore all of you. I'm very grateful for all of you. Keep shining, keep choosing, keep having way more fun than you're supposed to. Bye.